Welcome back to Skytech-Lens. For millions of Americans, filling up at the petrol station has become a source of anxiety. Prices are climbing, but there's no hurricane, no war, no global crisis to blame. The national average hovers near $4 a gallon, stubbornly high despite stable market fundamentals. The real cause: a new series of tariffs, quietly imposed by Washington, targeting goods from our closest allies, especially Canada. These tariffs, meant to protect American industries, are instead adding hidden costs to every gallon, squeezing household budgets across the Northeast and beyond. As we dig deeper, it's clear, the pain at the pump is just the first sign of a much larger economic shift, one that's reshaping America's relationship with its neighbors and with itself. On March 4, 2025, the Trump administration enacted sweeping tariffs, 25% on all Canadian goods, 10% on imported energy, and hefty increases on imports from Mexico, China, and others. The idea was simple: make foreign goods pricier, boost American industry, and fill government coffers. Penn Wharton estimates these tariffs could generate nearly $3 trillion over a decade. But here's the catch: tariffs aren't paid by foreign governments. They're paid by American importers, who pass the cost down the line. That means higher prices for families, businesses, and anyone who buys essentials like petrol or steel. Tariffs become a hidden tax, embedded in the price of everything from gas to groceries. The result? A new financial burden for Americans, especially at the pump. The tariff wall, meant to protect, is now quietly draining wallets across the country. The 10% tariff on Canadian energy hit instantly. Canada supplies huge amounts of crude and refined fuel to the US, especially the Northeast. Companies like Irving Oil immediately raised prices to cover the new cost, passing it to distributors, then to petrol stations, and, finally, to drivers. Unlike a sales tax, this tariff is invisible, buried in the price, not listed on your receipt. Every extra cent at the pump is a direct transfer from American families to the federal government. The pain is real, but the cause is hidden, making it hard for the public to connect policy to pocketbook. Over time, these tariffs act as a regressive tax, hitting low and middle-income families hardest. The government's windfall is coming straight from consumers' wallets. The hidden tax on fuel is just the beginning. Nowhere are the effects of the Canadian energy tariffs felt more sharply than in New England. With little local refining and few pipelines, states like Maine and Vermont rely on Canadian fuel. When tariffs hit, prices jumped 20 to 40 cents per gallon almost overnight. For families and small businesses, that's real money, hundreds of dollars a month, gone. Alberta's premier warns, if the dispute escalates, U.S. petrol prices could spike by $1 or more per gallon. The Midwest may feel a delayed impact, but no region is immune. New England's experience is a warning. Tariffs on essentials hit consumers first and hardest. The pain is immediate, the lesson clear. What starts in one region can ripple across the nation. As U.S. tariffs bite, Canada is pivoting fast. On June 30, 2025, the first LNG tanker left British Columbia for Asia, marking Canada's break from near-total reliance on the U.S. market. The Kitimat terminal is just the start of a multi-billion-dollar push to reach global buyers. Canada is now a G7 energy supplier to Asia and Europe, forging new alliances and asserting independence. For the U.S., this means more competition for Canadian energy and less leverage. American refineries may soon pay more, as Canada finds eager buyers abroad. While America builds tariff walls, Canada builds bridges. The energy landscape is shifting, and the U.S. risks being left behind. The tariff shock isn't limited to fuel. Construction faces a 50% tariff on imported steel and aluminum, driving up costs for bridges, homes, and clean energy projects. Projects are delayed or downsized, and higher costs are passed to taxpayers and homebuyers. The auto industry is squeezed from both sides. Rising fuel prices dampen demand for big vehicles, while tariffs raise the cost of parts and materials. Automakers must choose between higher prices or lower profits. Neither is good for jobs. The dream of revitalized U.S. manufacturing is colliding with the reality of global supply chains. Tariffs meant to help one sector are hurting many others. The hidden tax is everywhere, in our homes, our cars, and the infrastructure we depend on. Tariffs are now hitting the electrical grid. A 25% tariff on Mexican-made transformers is making it harder and costlier to maintain and upgrade America's aging power network. Utilities face higher costs and delays, risking more blackouts and higher electricity bills for everyone. These hidden costs add up, fueling a nationwide cost of living crisis. By mid-2025, only a third of Americans approve of the administration's handling of the economy. Families are cutting back, on vacations, dining out, even saving for college or retirement. Consumer spending slows, threatening the broader economy. The tariffs meant to make America richer are making many feel poorer. The squeeze is real, and it's changing daily life for millions. 2025 marks a turning point in US-Canada relations. As America turns inward, Canada is expanding its global partnerships. The US is testing economic nationalism, while Canada doubles down on free trade. Allies are watching and worrying. America's reputation as a reliable partner is at risk. Canada's approach is attracting new partners, filling the void left by US protectionism. New LNG exports to Asia are just the beginning. Energy corridors to Europe are next. As the US isolates, others build stronger, more dynamic markets. The danger? America could be left out of the new global economy. Two neighbors, two visions, one future uncertain. The consequences of America's choice are only starting to unfold. As autumn 2025 arrives, the question is clear: who wins and who loses in this new era of tariffs? The government's revenue is up, but it's American families and businesses footing the bill, through higher prices on everything from gas to groceries. The real losers are working families, small businesses, and anyone squeezed by rising costs. Canada, meanwhile, is turning challenge into opportunity, forging new global alliances. Ironically, US policy is boosting Canada's independence and global standing. For Americans at the pump, the answer is clear. They're paying the price, and the promised benefits remain out of reach. The debate will continue, but the impact is already being felt in wallets across the nation. Thanks for watching. Subscribe the channel for more updates.